Chairman, Agric Group, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Banjoko Omotunde, joins us on Newsday. Good day.
Also, we have agricultural specialist Omotunde Banjoko.
He's an agricultural specialist. Also with us is the author. Welcome with us, Mr. Banjoko Omotunde.
Let me speak to the Managing Director of BO Farms. He's also the Chairman, Agri Group of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Banjoko. Mr. Banjoko.
That's why we are where we are today. If that money had gone into agriculture in Nigeria, we wouldn't be where we are today.
No, there's nothing. They are at a loss as we speak. And they are at a loss because they were not found.
They managed to get 1.1 trillion.
1.0.
Now it's between 52,000 to 64,000.
How many years?
Just within a short period.
Hey, you want to make a bit of money? You should do what I did. Get into farming.
Skip this video if you are not intelligent enough to have conversations. Thank you.
Like brother, I come to interview today.
All right.
Okay.
Good everyone. So I promised you guys that I will be having an interview with one of the major agricultural, let's say, personality that we have in Nigeria. His name is Mr. Banjoko Omotunde. Yes, he's the MD of BO Farms, the chairman, Agric Group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Banjoko, nice to have you today.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, so please, I'm not a TV station. It's used to TV interviews and things like that. I'm just, my YouTube channel. But what I want to do today is that we're trying to answer some pertinent questions that we have in the agricultural space right now. And Mr. Tunde, I feel, is one of the best people that we can really ask those questions, because I think he's in between the people and the government, based on your positions and things like that, because you have the experience of the people and you also have some government experience in terms of relationship and things like that. So firstly, we'll start with a quick fire session. Quick fire session is that we'll be asking Mr. Banjo some questions. We have about 6 questions here, and we just need him to give us direct answers. No need of long explanations.
Okay.
Just answer us directly what you feel about these particular things I'm about to mention.
Okay.
So the first quick fire question I would like to ask is, what makes you more money? Is it farming or other related activities?
Other related agric activities for now.
Okay. Question 2, people without time to farm, what part of the value chain can they key into?
They can play in investment and trading.
Okay. Question 3, minimum amount required to enter farming?
Maybe 100,000.
Okay. Are you saying I can use 100,000 to
You
start?
can start something, anything in agric. Yeah.
Okay. Question 4, can agriculture make you rich?
Very well, it can make a billionaire.
In Africa or in Nigeria?
In Africa.
Okay. Okay. Question 5, land leasing. Why is it so hard now to lease land?
Because of our land tenure system, where family holds land, government holds land, so it's always difficult getting land. So most times some prefer to sell, some prefer to lease to their people they know, but it's still possible to still lease land.
Okay, then the last one is, why can't the Southwest feed itself? Why do we still depend on the North for most of our food?
I don't agree with you that we depend on the North. No region of the country is self-sufficient. Even globally, no country is self-sufficient. People still do import and export.
Okay, so you are saying that we can be self-sufficient if we decide to?
Nigeria can be self-sufficient if we decide to.
We're talking about Southwest. Southwest. Can Southwest be self-sufficient?
But there are things that our soil do not really support well. So that's why I don't want to answer to say self-sufficient. But we can also feed ourselves largely. Maybe that will be my answer.
Okay.
Maybe our common food. But there are some things that we rely on the North. The lands do better. And I think the North also rely on us to produce. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the end of our quick fire session. So now we're coming back for the next session. In the next session, we'll then be asking the pertinent most important questions about GMO, about insecurity, and some other questions, inflation and things like that. So stay tuned and we'll be back.
Okay, comrade.
Yes, comrade.
How do I just...
So I'll go on to the second part of our interview, and I want to be asking him some core questions that we have. Yeah.
Okay.
So these questions, I think I did a, what do you call it now? Where you share something that questionnaire. Yeah, I did a questionnaire, and some people suggested some very, very pertinent questions that they would like me to ask you.
Okay.
So
And I pray so help me God to answer the question.
So please, you know, Maoga, it's very hard to find you and, you know, hold you down. So please, we need some answers to this question. You can take your time to answer these questions, then we can have a discussion about it.
Okay.
So the first question I'd like to ask is, why has Nigeria continued to import over $10 billion worth of food annually despite our agricultural potential, and who benefits most from these importation policies?
We continue to import that volume because we are not prioritizing agriculture yet the way it should be prioritized. For example, you look at what we are budgeting to agriculture, we still do between 1 to 2% most times, when all African countries agree to do minimum 10%. That if you do 10%, you can grow very well, at least minimum 6% annually. But we do at times 1%, 1.6% the last several decades. So that's why we are not investing enough, we are not encouraging the farmers enough. So that's why we are still importing largely. We have the land. Nigeria has over 84 million hectares of land that we can cultivate to generate enough for us as a nation, and then earn foreign exchange so we can feed ourselves and also get foreign exchange. But because we are not investing well, like they say, garbage in, garbage out, it's what you have invested in that you expect good return. That's why we are still importing that much as of today. Of course, tagged to that again is we have also not been free completely from our taste of foreign products. We are still very cultured to the fact that our culture, the pride that I'm eating foreign things, I'm using foreign things. You know, we always say buy Nigeria, use Nigeria, but even with our food, we don't buy the Nigeria food. We rather, prioritize the foreign food
because of
as
the looks,
status things, pride and all that. So that's why, I was shocked some months back, or maybe about a year or two, seeing that even from some Asian countries who are importing who are importing steel, who are importing things importing gari into our country, and our country is the largest producers of cassava in the world.
But some will say there was a time where we blocked our borders, to prevent the importation of most of those.
Was it completely blocked? Were people not still smuggling products into the country?
But I think the whole idea at that time was to help farmers.
It was to help the local economy. It was a good idea, but was it fully executed? Our borders are still a bit porous, so people still find their way to bring in some of those things. We talk about people still bring in even imported chicken, imported turkey, affecting our local farmers, bringing in imported rice, and even Nigerians, like I said, Nigerians will say, I'd rather eat the imported rice than the local ones and all that. And that's why you still see them even rebagging our local rice as foreign rice, because they know that's what we want to buy. And like you said, what are those benefiting from it? Those in charge of the policies most times are the ones benefiting. Because if they are not executing what they need to execute to empower the local farmers, it's because they are benefiting from that system of importation.
That's interesting. Okay, let me move on to the next question. So there's this claim that government subsidies they benefit the large-scale farmers over the smallholder farmers. The smallholder farmers produce 70% of Nigeria's food. Yeah. So why is it that these government subsidies are targeted towards the large-scale farmers that just produce about 30% of the food we consume?
I think, to be candid, the requirement to access most of those things, most smallholder farmers can't get it.
So why is the requirement set so high?
So we really need to re-evaluate our processes as a nation.
Okay.
We need to look at the processes so that a young person, for example, should be able to benefit from some of those programs. Though there are programs for maybe the smallholder farmers, but some of those policies can't really cause a major scale in there. So when the government wants to scale, they feel it's easier to give out 10 billion to 4 companies to be able to produce massively than giving 200,000 to different subcontractors. And that's why they also now, what the government have been advocating for some years now is that instead of giving one person 200,000, why not from a cooperative, cluster, so that we can say, okay, this cluster we are giving you 10 million, give you 20 million, so that you can scale like that. So I agree with you, most of the policy still favors most of the large scale farmers, because even though they are there, but it's always difficult for the smallholder farmers to access.
Okay. So let me go to this next question now. So there is this trend I've noticed. I went to a farm in Ijebu. Yes, I can't remember the exact location right now. Yeah, so there was a friend I went to there and see. He's into cattle. He rears cattle and things like that. And he was pointing at large areas or expanse of land where foreigners are bought up. You know, do you think this new trend of foreign companies buying into or buying large portions of lands in Nigeria, like, is it a form of neo-colonialism that displaces our local farmers? And what's the Chamber of Commerce doing to protect these indigenous farming communities presently?
I will look at it from different perspectives.
Okay.
One, as a nation, we are looking for foreign direct investments.
Sure.
So we just talked about 84 million hectares. We barely use 40 million. Why have we not used those 40 million? Is it because there are no people? Is it because there are no farmers? But most times they don't have what it requires to utilize those land, utilize those facilities. So if we now have foreigners who are willing to bring in their funds to establish operations to help maximize our land, bring down our cost of operation, reduce unemployment, would you call that neo-colonialism? So they create jobs. I have a Chinese farm beside my farm, very massive. About 99 or 98% of their farm workers are Nigerians, people in the local community that they employed, giving them free meal, giving them so many things. Meals, pay and all that. So is that, I will not call that,
but you know, it always starts like this. They come into your community, they buy portions of land. You feel okay, yes, they are creating jobs and things like that. But you know, in the long run, it's to the detriment of the local population.
How is it to the detriment?
Because the local population at the end now, you reach up to the standard where you can say, okay, I can afford a piece of land now. The land ownership system in Nigeria is currently 100 years. And even after that 100 years, the person can renew his or her ownership of that land. So my forefathers had this land, my fathers had this land. Now it's being sold by the community chief or whatever to foreign companies. I myself now, I have the capability now to get into agriculture, buy those lands. So, but now the foreign companies own everything. You understand? So how can I now key into agriculture? Because it feels like now the foreign companies own all the land. I cannot, even if I have the amount to buy the land, I cannot get the land anymore.
Can anybody really tell me they have money to buy land in Nigeria today and they can't get the land because the foreigners have bought all the land.
Like for example now,
Can
that's
anybody
let
tell
me
me
paint that
that?
situation now.
Yeah.
The person I went to go and see with the cattle and everything,
Yeah.
we were trying to look for land essentially. So he was speaking with the chief and everything. But what we then discovered is that most of the land that would have been like prime locations for where he wants to set up, most of it we already gone to the foreign companies, most of them by the side of the road. So if he wanted to get land that is a bit reasonable to the size he wants, he has to go, inside.
Which those foreigners don't always mind. So we should change our orientation. Just yesterday, I was still given a 5,000-acre land by someone to sell for them. I approached them that Nigerians needed 500 acres and all that, but they said they would probably be interested in selling the entire land as a whole.
Is it foreigners that you approached or local?
No, the locals that owns the land, they want to sell it together. So where I have issues is the fact that, like I said earlier on, why can't I go to a bank in Nigeria and say, this is my expansion plan, this is what I have in mind, I need this land, give me money, let me do this is my business plan. So let's leave the whites, let's leave the foreigners, and let's talk to ourselves. Why can't our policy favor us? Why would I go to a bank that, okay, I'm doing 10 acres, I want to do 20 acres, these are my results, and you tell me to go and bring a house document because I want to borrow maybe 5 million, 10 million to scale. So I would be more interested in, let's look at our policies as a nation and let's leave those foreigners alone. That's my perspective, and I think I have a title to my opinion.
Yes.
Because really, if a foreigner gets such opportunity, all he needs to do is to go back to his country, tell them about the opportunity, and they support it. Why are we not supporting ourselves? Because why I want us to be careful with this narrative is that's what led to what is going on in Ghana now. The Ghanaians are saying Nigerians took our jobs. That's what led to the fracas in South Africa. Nigerians are taking our jobs. So is that not what you're also now saying? That foreigners are taking your jobs. So very soon you start chasing people. And so, is it everybody in Ghana that is shouting now? No. Is everybody? You find out it's probably some. I want to be careful with words. Probably aggrieved people.
Yeah.
Now saying, so that's what I'm saying. But we also have laws in Nigeria and some other country that can say a foreigner cannot own everything 100%. Hope you know.
Yeah.
Especially in the oil and gas industry.
Yeah.
You cannot have anything major as a foreigner. Probably you'll have 48, 49%. So we can extend the same thing to agriculture, and I think it applies because there was a time I was trying to register something with an American also. That law also applies in agriculture. You can't own everything 100%. So it's also a leverage for us. So what we need to do for those who are farmers watching us now is to position yourself to be that person that can receive that foreign direct investment and work with them, scale and get employment for our people. That's my perspective.
Thank you, Mr. Banjoko. The conversation got deeper, hence why I had to divide it into parts. So if you are looking to purchase farmlands, remember we sell an acre of land for less than $500. That's 6 full plots of agric land. Check the video description or drop a comment for more information on this. Thank you. Watch for part 2.